Hey, what is going on, everybody? Don Martino here from Extract Media. Season 2 of Star Wars The Bad Batch has premiered on Disney Plus, the first 2 episodes, and we're going to talk about both of those here today. I am going to get into spoilers, so you have been warned. If you have not seen the first 2 episodes yet, go ahead and tune out now. All right, so the first episode is called Spoils of War. It is directed by Brad Rao and Stuart Lee, coming back from the first season. It starts on that mission on the beach that we'd seen in the trailer. It's really fast-paced. It's kind of fun action. I really enjoyed this moment, and it's really well animated just right off the bat. We get to see the Bad Batch's new armor, which I think is pretty sick. I do like the look of it. We see Omega have this independence in this episode. Michelle Ang is back voicing the character again, and it is great stuff. I do love this character. Every time she is on the screen, the show shines just a little bit more. She starts fighting and stuff. It's pretty fun. To kind of get off this mission, obviously they are working for Sid once again. Sid kind of sent them on this mission. They go back to see Sid again, and then there's a new character named Bija Noah, and the second I heard the character's voice, I knew it was Wanda Sykes. I was like, oh boy, here we go. I thought she provided really great voice work here, and I really like the Brown Eyes reference. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that from Mandalorian.
What's your name, officer?
We just call him Brown Eyes.
They send the Bad Batch on a mission to get this treasure, apparently, that like Count Dooku had, which is really interesting, the way that they're tying that back into the stuff that happened in Revenge of the Sith a little bit. Definitely appreciated the reference. So they're going on this mission, and Echo is kind of talking to Hunter a little bit, and he's telling him basically like, look, I know why you accepted this mission. We haven't had a normal life since Omega's been with us. And you're like, oh man, because you see that Omega overhears all this, and it's like, oh gosh, that's going to be rough. I like that this first episode actually ended with a cliffhanger, though. We actually see this like ship going down, and you don't know what's going to happen, honestly, and it kind of cuts off right in the middle of the action. It's like, okay, you got to watch episode 2 now. I did think this first episode was a lot of fun. It had great animation once again. I think now that all the characters are better established, we can have a lot better pacing with this show. We don't have to go and stop for setup. Ultimately, though, I found this episode to be a bit repetitive with a lot of the stuff that we'd seen in the first season. Honestly, it's just like, okay, go on the mission and then do the thing, and then yeah, there's nothing like overly spectacular in this episode, to be honest with you. I do like the work that's put into it, and it's there, but it just feels like normal animated Star Wars. The second episode is called Ruins of War. It is directed by Brad Rao and Nathaniel Villanueva, to come back from the first season, and it pretty much starts where the last episode left off, except you realize, okay, all that tension really meant nothing because the ship just lands and everything's fine. But immediately there's something interesting that happens after this, because then they're in the woods, and then they meet this guy named Romar Afel, who's voiced by Hector Elizondo, and I actually like the voice work that's provided here. It really made this character extremely interesting right off the bat. You realize pretty early on here that their mission's going to get intercepted by the Empire, and again, it's that unfortunate repetitive nature of the show. You go on the missions, something bad happens, the Empire gets in the way, whatever. It just doesn't feel new anymore. The guy takes Omega and Echo and Tech back to his place. There's all these like really interesting artifacts. He's trying to help him out. I'm definitely intrigued by some of these artifacts that were in the place for sure. Definitely hope this guy comes back later on in the season. I thought he was a really interesting character. I would like to learn more about him. But toward the end, obviously, like everything comes back around. Omega starts to tell Echo like what she overheard, so she runs off to try to complete the mission, and Echo kind of saves her because she's stuck in danger right now, and he's just kind of like, look, it's impossible, and then she's kind of falling off the thing, and he saves her. I really like this moment. And then you get this like really touching moment between Echo and Omega where he tells her, hey, look, if I can go back, I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. Like everything that we did was how it was meant to go. I was like, okay, there's the heart that I really like when Omega's on the screen, and they're bringing a little bit of that back here. I like this relationship that her and Echo are building. I didn't feel like the two of them got enough screen time together in season 1. A lot of that relationship building with Omega was done between her and Hunter, so it was cool to see it done with Echo here. Character development with the show is just not an issue. At the end, one of the clones that's working for the Empire kind of goes back to his boss. He tells him, look, I know what I saw the Bad Batch, and the guy's like, oh, they died. And then he asks him to falsify the official report that he filed, and the clone refuses. The clone's like, no, I'm never gonna falsify a report, and then his boss just shoots him. I was like, whoa, that is such a good ending. I really like that. It's actually setting a lot up. I'm enjoying this so far. I loved how much more cohesive this felt with its first episode as opposed to season 1 of the Bad Batch. I had a little cohesion, but not a lot. There's great heart in here once again, which just made it that much better, and it's really setting up a lot. Kevin Kiner's score really shined in the second episode as well. I want to point that out. I did like the second episode more than the first one. I like what it did for the first episode. Looking back on the first episode, it's even better having the second one. On the same hand, there's still just nothing nothing overly spectacular going on, and it's really just another mission here. I'm gonna watch episode 3. I'm really actually looking forward to it. I just hope it doesn't feel so filler. I hope that it's driving the story forward more, especially that there's a lot on the table now to kind of do that with, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. All right, guys, overall, actually like these 2 episodes very much. A lot more than I thought I was going to be honest with you. I'm kind of happy about this. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the first 2 episodes of The Bad Batch Season 2. And before I get out of here, as always, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. I really appreciate it, guys. Subscribing is free to do, and honestly, I'm going to be doing Bad Batch episodes every week, so you don't want to miss one, so hit that bell for sure. I am Don Martino, and I will talk to you guys later.